Welcome to the BNB Investing Podcast for real estate investors. Fix and flippers and realtors exploring investment options with Airbnbs and short-term rentals through acquisition, leasing, or management to generate consistent monthly revenue. Join us for a chat with experienced and successful short-term rental investors to hear their story of how they got started and created wealth by building scalable businesses. We also explore various service providers and lenders that help make our businesses more efficient and maximize revenue in this awesome sharing economy. Welcome your host, Rich Munroe.
Hey there, it's Rich Munroe with BNB Investing. Thanks for jumping on this week. We're currently going to be talking with Alex today about something that's really near and dear to my heart and that she specializes in, and that's guest communications. And she basically works with a lot of different investors in the short-term rental space and helps support that function. And so super excited to kind of dig into it with Alex today. And Alex, thanks for jumping on. Give us a little bit background and what your history is.
My pleasure. Thanks for inviting me. My background is interesting. So I went to school for business management. I worked in the recruiting industry for tech companies for 5 years, maybe more. And then I decided I wanted to do a master's of computer science, become an engineer. Everyone told me you need to learn to code, you need to get into tech. So I did. And I worked at LinkedIn and Microsoft as a software engineer. And during the pandemic, the pandemic put everything into perspective for me on things that were truly important in my life. I moved back to South America, Bolivia, my hometown, to be close to family. And how Purple was born is I tried to help many of my friends here in Bolivia find remote jobs. The economy was struggling here, and I went on a mission to help them find remote jobs, and that's how Purple organically happened. So I get to use all my skills, my recruiting skills, my tech skills, and my networking skills.
Love it, love it, love it. And what drew you to the short-term rental space?
Yes, one of my close friends, when we graduated college, he started doing the Airbnbs. I believe he rented his basement as Airbnb, and that was paying his mortgage for his house. He went into the next property, and he had been telling me for more than 3 years to exploit the Latin American talent. He told me you should get into this. You should get into Airbnb, find out about virtual assistants. You speak 2 languages. You have the network in Latin America. And for many years, I was like, oh, I'm okay being a software engineer. I don't have the time right now. But now that I'm in Latin America, I have the network, I have the skills. And I started with that one client, and then the referrals, the website, I quickly expanded to more clients. So I think we have, in the last 6 months, we have placed over 45 virtual assistants for specifically STRs in the US.
Oh, awesome. Love it. Now, tell me a little bit about the operation. So is it everyone working remotely? Is it a call center? What does that structure look like?
Yes. All of the virtual assistants work remotely. So I primarily hire from my home country, from Bolivia. I would say 90%, more than 90% are from Bolivia. I'm connected to all the universities, the professional networks, to all the college graduates that graduated from universities outside of Bolivia, like in Dublin, Barcelona. So I have that network. But all of us work remotely. So for those of us that are working for Purple and we're doing outsourcing for the STRs, we do have the software that checks the time doctor, like their activity. They're supposed to reply to the guest within the 10 minutes. We do quality control randomly. Something that sets me apart is that we have a team manager. So that manages a group of virtual assistants. So they're doing the job that the STR gets the hours that they're paying for their virtual assistant. And if somebody doesn't show up that day or somebody's sick, has an emergency, the manager is already trained and ready to jump in. But all of us work 100% remote in different cities and countries. We have some people in Argentina, and it hasn't been a problem. We don't have a physical location, an office today.
Right. No, that makes sense. And so when you onboard new and recruit new folks, what does the training look like for the STR piece?
Yes. So yeah, we spend a lot of time on the recruiting. So we get many applications throughout Latin America. So I would say for one position, at least I interview 10 people, because we're looking for the rock stars, the ones with the good English. A lot of people have okay English, they're bilingual, but they don't have the charisma. Their true personality doesn't come out through the second language. So after that, if we are asked by the client, we do the personality assessments, we do some Excel, Word assessments, and then the client gets to interview 2 to 3 people and make a decision. And then the training with us, the onboarding with Purple, we go through our core values at Purple. We go through the different software CRMs that they may be using. We do general knowledge, like on day one. And emails, we give them access to the email, access to all the clients' email. But the true training, so outside of us, I think most of the work is in the recruiting process, like the weeding out. We're looking for the rock stars, great background, good English, good technical skills, the go-getter, the fire personality. That's what we look for. So when we get to day one, we do the 1 day offboarding, day one with Purple, general knowledge. The true training happens with the client. And we're hand on hand working with the client week 1, because they're showing us on their screen, this is exactly how I want you to record this, or how to do this. This is exactly how I want you to respond to my customers. And training is not 1 week, it's not 2-day training. Sometimes it can take more than 2 weeks. But once they do proper training, we have the recordings, the documentation, they can be hands off. So it's an investment of their time and their money, but they can have the peace of mind that their clients, their guests, are going to be taken care of.
Okay. And is the primary focus communicating with guests, or are there other things that virtual assistant can help us with?
Yeah, thank you. Great question. Here in Latin America, we have a surplus of a great guest communication, like the personality, outgoing, even the culture is closer to the US culture. So we specialize in mostly guest communications. I would say 80% of the VAs that I place are specifically for STRs, for guest communications. And then I do have a dental office, and we do the secretary work, like booking appointments and being the first point of contact. And I recently have an accounting firm who hired 2 virtual assistants from Bolivia who had a bookkeeping accounting background. And I also placing some interior designers to design Airbnbs virtually. So they have to have some of the like logistics and numbers background to do some research to know the areas, but they're going to be the ones virtually furnishing and doing the inventory of how much it would cost to make an Airbnb look a certain way. So okay, I'm excited. Cool. I'm starting to recruit for that this week. So that's new.
And they're doing that remotely for anywhere in the world, or is it on, just on a particular country?
Right now, all my clients are in the United States, and I have clients California, New York, Florida, Texas, and Utah. But yeah, anywhere in the world.
All right. And then, so what's your client mix currently? Are these one-off individual Airbnb hosts, or are these, large property managers that might have multiple properties, or investors that have multiple property and multiple listings? What's kind of the makeup of your customer base?
Yes. I have a wide range, and I've talked to all sorts of investors and business owners. So I would say they're small, medium-sized business, most of them. They once they hit 30 doors is when they're like, I think I need to start looking into this. What are your prices? I'll check my budget. So between 20, 30 doors, and when they see they need to start outsourcing. So those are my smallest clients. I just closed two virtual assistants for the night shift with one of my biggest clients. They have, I believe, over 300 doors. So they're a bigger company. They have in-house HR, in-house everything, even hotels in their portfolio.
Hmm.
Um, and in the middle, I just recently, one of my outlier clients, he does the remodeling for Airbnbs, like the BRR. Like he buys, remodels, sometimes turns it into Airbnb, but then or he sells the remodel new house. And he needed an executive assistant to just tell him what to do throughout the day in his calendar because he's very busy. He remodels probably 20 properties at the same time in California.
Hmm.
Um, so I have a client base from all over, but I think the concept is the same where they are busy and they get to the point they need to outsource some of the
Yeah.
tasks. And where do they go? Where do they trust someone in a different country to help them with this task to be done the way it needs to be done for them to continue to grow the business? And I think
Hmm.
I take pride on that at Purple, that outside of doing the personality tests that I do, the tests that I have the virtual assistants do, we have a great professional network throughout Latin America, people that are very capable to do the work. And another thing that I take pride on is I have managers that I hire at Purple who are
Hmm.
constantly doing the quality control to make sure that our clients get what they're paying for. They don't sign up with me and we forget. We don't do check-ins. We do monthly check-ins. Are you satisfied with this virtual assistant, with what you're getting? Because if at any point they're not, we will do a free replacement of the virtual assistant for them.
Hmm. Are you typically, when you're doing a placement like that, are you typically placing that assistant with one client, or is that assistant possibly, depending on the day or the time of the week, or different shifts, are they also working with other clients at the same time?
So far, I have never had to share a virtual assistant for multiple projects. They're
Hmm.
dedicated. Now, I did have a client who came and said, I just need somebody for the night shift. I only have so many doors. So he's like, rarely I have calls. So if you already have someone in another project, I'm willing to share because we never get
Hmm.
anything, but we need somebody monitoring. That was the only time I had somebody come, and then I told them, yeah, we could do that, and they decided not to do it at the end. So but that was interesting. I thought like, oh, like they were willing to share a virtual
Yeah.
assistant.
Yeah, like most of our members in the B&B investing group are, some of them are like our operation where, we've got a lot of listings and we've got a big need for constant guest communications. But a big portion of our members are really just getting started to scale their business. And so they might have, one or two or three listings in the beginning and trying to focus on growing their business and get to, 5, 10 plus units, and kind of need help in the meantime to offload some of that guest communication piece. And but to, like you described, even at 10 listings, that's really not a constant full-time person just always communicating. It's going to be kind of random. Every couple hours there might need to be responding to something. So is there is there a way to customize like a hybrid solution at a lower cost that we're kind of sharing a resource? And as I'm talking, because we've got several folks that are in that same boat, maybe we pool everybody together and we say, all right, well, this one rep is going to be handling these 8 different clients, and they all together maybe have 12 listings. Is that something you'd be open to kind of structuring as an option?
It would depend on case by case, because
Hmm.
this is my company, my name, my reputation of providing the best guest experience. So as long as it's a win-win for both of us, they're happy with the quality, I would be willing to put one of my BAs to on multiple projects. But yeah, I guess at night it's okay. There's less calls. If it's a true emergency, we just call 911. But typically
Hmm.
it can be fixed, so you can wait until the next day.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, we would be open.
Um, okay. So I'm curious to see, how did you come up with the name Purple?
Thank you. Uh, we were brainstorming names with my two kids. They're 10 and 11.
Hmm.
And they came up with anime names. They came up with dinosaur names. And at the end, we a while ago we were learning about the meaning of colors, meaning of names, where the names came from, meaning of colors, and we got into researching, asking ChatGPT, and it came from my kids. They chose
Okay.
purple. We said, let's look at the meaning. It is one of my favorite colors. So yes, if you wanted that answer, it is one of my favorite colors. We look up the definition, and it was the color of royalty, of hard worker, something to do with hardworking, color, royalty, and something elevated. And I said,
Hmm.
that, it's simple, and I love it. I love it.
Very cool. Maybe that's a good time for us to take a look at a few slides that you have for us to look over some of the structure and the costing and the pricing.
Yes. So I do this introduction with all of my clients. I introduce myself. I tell them a little bit about my background. I did live in the United States. I got my bachelor's, master's degree there, moved to Bolivia. To truly, this is more than a job for me. I do this full time now. I make a living out of this, but it's also more personal for me to bring jobs to Latin America as much as I can. So very passionate about my project. Um, so on this slide, I introduce myself and I show them a map of where Bolivia is located. So it's in the heart of South America, surrounded by Peru, Brazil, Argentina, Paraguay, and Chile. We're landlocked. Um, so a lot of the culture is still very preserved. We're not as Americanized in the culture as other places, but in our education, we are. So if I go to the next slide, I introduce here a little bit about what they would get with the Bolivian talent. So I say all candidates that they're going to interview, that my clients will interview, are they have a bachelor's degree, and about 30% will have a master's. So we're highly educated. Then something that's unique to Bolivia is we get a lot of scholarships. Bolivia is the second poorest country in Latin America after Haiti. It's a sad reality. So we get a lot of scholarships to do 1 year study abroad in Dublin, in Canada, Australia, Barcelona. So many professionals in my circle, they've had this study abroad experience where they can practice their English and
Hmm.
do 1 year of abroad, but they have to come back to country of origin. And once you come to country of origin, there's no opportunities here. So some
Hmm.
people, and they are doctors, they are lawyers. I have architects, engineers who make a living being virtual assistants because it pays more than what they would make working at a regular Bolivian company.
Wow. Okay.
Also, we are very motivated because we're small and poor. So a lot of us have that like mentality, like we need to learn English, we need to get our education. So college, like education, is the way we're gonna make it.
Hmm.
And Bolivia is landlocked for Bolivians who grew up in the city, who we had access to clean water to go outside the country. We have to travel outside Bolivia to see the ocean once in our lifetime. So many of us have gone to Brazil, Argentina, Peru to see the ocean at least once in our lifetime. So that's also something that makes us a little bit different than the rest.
Hmm.
Um, and like I said, being a virtual assistant is a career here. It's not like, well, let me try this summer job. I'll see what customer service is. It's a coveted position because they earn in dollars. It's with an American trusted company. They know they're going to pay on time, and they're long contracts. Like if it's a contract, it's at least for a year. So that's
Hmm.
how they support their families. So I offer two services. One is the recruiting only. like I said, I have clients who are big. They have 300 plus stores. They have in-house HR, in-house management. So I trust them that they can take care of our purple candidates. So they want to hire in-house, so they just hire me as the recruiter, the headhunter. So I
Mm-hmm.
charge them first month salary. Their range in Bolivia starts at 700 to 750, and it can go up to 900 to 1,000 for a monthly salary. So 750 is your $4.6 an hour. So they hire them in house, and I do charge a deposit for me to start the recruiting process of 250. And one thing that sets me apart is I do the 90-day guarantee. It's already built into my system. Like in those 90 days, if they're not satisfied with that virtual assistant, I do a free replacement. We start the recruiting process again until the customer is happy. Because I do want that long working relationship between the virtual assistant and the company. Personalities match, they get to know each other, and it's a win-win for everybody.
Sure, that makes sense.
The other service that I offer at Purple is that we manage your outsourced team here in Bolivia. Like I mentioned, we do have customers who don't want to have to deal with holidays, with dealing with the payroll, dealing with, oh, if somebody leaves in 3 months, they have to hire again. We take care of all of that. So we start full time is what I recommend always, but if you have the need for part-time, we do that too. So we start at $8 an hour, and we'll manage your full team. I do require a service agreement of 6 months. It is not a contract, so if somebody's not happy within a couple of months, they can break the service agreement. It's not a contract. You're not locked into anything. We do, like I said, we have a manager managing a couple of teams. So the manager will be joining all the onboarding process, the training process. So we have clear documentation for us. If anything was to happen, we always have somebody to fill the shift. And like I said, we're monitoring the VA to make sure they're working the hours our client is paying for, and make sure we do the quality control on the guest communication, so they don't have to worry about if there's any feedback for us. They tell the point of contact for that team, the manager, and he'll take care of it to make the experience better. We meet with the company at least once a month to check, is there anything we can improve, is there anything that could have been better this month, anything to make sure we're meeting their expectations. And at any time, of course, we'll be responsible of making sure there's a VA that's performing as expected. And one thing I want to mention about the rates, what you get with this is you get bilingual. You get the Spanish and the English. You get the college educated, and you get people who already have experience in either in a call center or as virtual assistants. And we are able to go at this price because Bolivia is affordable, and we're able to lower our price to $8 an hour for our full-time virtual assistants. If you go to Costa Rica, Mexico, they start at $12 to $14 an hour for the same service. And
But how do you guys compare price-wise to like India and the Philippines?
we are more expensive, but the quality, I think my clients can speak for it. The quality is better, the understanding of the culture is better, and many cases the English is better. So I think you get what you pay for. But yes, when I did my research, prices can be much lower in other parts of the world, but sometimes that person is working 7 days a week, no vacation, maybe more hours. They share projects sometimes. And it all comes to the client satisfaction at the end, the guest satisfaction. So many of the STRs that have come to me, they refer me through other STRs, have come because they had a bad experience, or what they realized they wanted more. They were willing to pay more for a better guest experience.
Okay.
And last is the time to hire. So once they agree to what I share with them, they send me a job description. I have an intake form. So I know what they're looking for all my SDRs. I know what type of guest communication person they're looking for, but I need them to be specific. Are they looking for somebody with 3 to 5 years of experience who has management potential? Are they looking for somebody that maybe has that fire, that grit, maybe not as experienced, but they're willing to train them as long as they have the right personality. Some people are looking for people that are more logical. They're not looking for the charisma. They're looking for somebody who can pay attention to the tasks. Here's where you tell me exactly what you need. SDR to SDR, it varies. Only one time I had one SDR tell me, I only want females. Like I only want females. I'm like, great. Be honest with me. I'll find you what you need. It takes me it takes me 7 to 10 days to recruit, and then we'll schedule final interviews and we do the hire. So I have people on standby already. It takes probably less than this for your typical virtual assistant. If you're looking for more specialized, might take me longer, but 7 to 10 days is the average.
Okay, very cool. And so the because of a lot, like I was mentioning before, a lot of our members are kind of starting out. I think the option for more of a pooled environment might make more sense for most of our members in terms of, maybe I take the lead, for instance, on the recruiting and the training, and then maybe we start out with the part-time option, and then have that rep. How are you doing the technology aspect of tapping in? I'm assuming you would use the client's channel manager to do the communications, or what does that typically look like?
Yeah, so the client gives us the software, the emails, the access, and the very specific training. We're there to provide the talent and to support, but they train us and they give us access to the software. So Breezeway, Streamline, yeah, we've seen that they use different softwares depending on the size as well.
Got it. Very cool. All right. And so if some of our members wanted to kind of learn more about and get more details, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
You can go to my website. It's www.gowithpurple.com.
Okay.
And yeah, I think that's the best way. And there's a link to fill out a form, to schedule time with me, a discovery call for 15 minutes, and I'll be happy to see how we can help give you more
All
peace
right.
of mind so you can go do amazing things. You have more free time.
All right, perfect. I'll put that in the chat.
Thank you.
And then let's see here. The other question I had is, do you have any like customer testimonials that
Not
currently work with
yet.
you? Okay.
Not yet. I've had customers telling me, if you ever need one, please let me know. I need to upgrade my website, and I'm currently working on it. So in 4 to 6 weeks, it'll be up there.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So thanks so much for taking the time today, Alex, to walk us through your business. It's very exciting that you're growing. How long has it been now that you've been at this?
1 year.
1 year. Okay, so you're off to a
year.
really good start. Sounds like you have big goals and big aspirations. What are your goals with your company over the
Yes.
next year?
World domination. No, we want to. We're reaching more STRs, the bigger STRs, where we can say we can manage your team of 10, 15, 20, because I believe we've learned this last year and we're ready to do that. And I just understood the question about the customer testimonials. So I don't have it on my website, but I do have customer testimonials. One of them was like, you saved my business from a client in Utah, because they hire an outsourcing company and they didn't get what they were paying for. They were getting bad guest communications, not the best. And
Hmm.
they just decided to hire in-house, and posting on LinkedIn or doing it your own takes a lot of time to go through resumes, to do the interviews, to check the English, their background, and they didn't know how to do it, and they didn't have the person doing guest communications. So yeah, within a couple of days, they hire from me. So that was one customer testimonial. The other one, they call me the queen of recruiting in Latin America. This was the accounting firm, because they have many clients, and tax season is coming, so they hire in January. And this client, um, he flew. He offered to train the two virtual assistants in person in Miami, Florida.
Mm.
And one of them didn't have a visa to enter the United States. The other one did. So he was there for a week training in Miami. And of course, for me, I cannot feel any more proud of the work that I do to see my fellow Bolivians going to the United States to get trained with an American company. So he referred me to a couple of other accounting firms. So hopefully we had more clients. But when he introduces me, he introduces me as the queen of recruiting in Latin America.
Very cool. Awesome. Love it. So thanks again. Thanks everybody for tuning in this week. And Alex, thanks for joining. And just a reminder, if anyone is ready to start building a scalable short-term rental business and needs some help with that and see if the program will be a good fit, you can reach out to me directly on Facebook Messenger. And until then, we'll see everybody next week. Thanks again, Alex. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Rich. My pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks for jumping on the BNB Investing Podcast this week. Please click on the subscribe and like button below. For more trainings, property tours, and content, you can join my BNB Investing Facebook group by clicking below. If you are ready to grow your short-term rental portfolio and maximize your monthly income, you can click on the link below to schedule a quick strategy call with Rich or someone from his team to see how we can help or point you in the right direction. Stay tuned for our next episode and hope to see you on the BNB Investing Group podcast.